What is up? I'm back with another video. The Don is back. I know, guys. I've been super biz. So when I get busy, I just don't have time to make content always. But I've had a lot of ideas, and I have like a lot of videos in my drafts. Um, just that like I was just talking on my phone, but then I got busy, so I never got to like post them or whatever the fuck. But so this is like a little bit different episode. I'm going to. Um, More so or less do a full episode for you guys. So this is going to be on Apple Podcasts. It's going to be on YouTube, and this is more so like a full episode where I just talk about things that are interesting to me. And so I was walking through the store, and I kid you not, I saw Mayo. And I personally, I'm not like the biggest Mayo fan, but people love it. I saw all these different types of brands of Mayo, but I saw Hellmann's is like I've seen this my whole life, right? And a Miracle Whip is probably like the next like cool one. So, a lot of people have hobbies and interests in like sports, fashion. Mine is business, and I care about business a lot. And I just like have always been obsessed with the consumer product brand. Like I just always been obsessed with like Procter and Gamble, Unilever. I mean, these companies own things like Tide or Crest, or like, they own all these brands that we use day in and day out. And so basically, I was like, cool, let me look up Hellmann's. And it sent me down on a fucking path. Okay, so this episode is called Mayo Billionaires. There's a couple other companies, but I just focused on Hellmann because his story was mostly vastly out there. It was pretty cool. So some history and some background on Mayo. In 1756, Mayo was actually invented. So it was invented by some like French ruler's cook. I guess this cook was like amazing, and he kind of developed mayo / aioli. There's some references that said Spain was also in the mix. I just don't know where exactly Spain fits, but it was in there. Anyway, let's just fast forward to Richard Hellmann. Okay. Richard Hellmann is, he was born in Germany. And he actually worked for like a food processor like, sort of company back in Europe. Okay. But he actually then got to immigrate to NYC, where he met his first wife, whose parents were in the deli business. And since Richard was like around the food business, he kind of understood what to do. And so, and since her family had two delis, they decided to open up their own deli. And it was, it was decently successful. And one thing that made him kind of unique is that he would, and multiple deli owners did this at the time, where they'll like package things up for their customers. And what he did is like he started making packaged mayo, and he would like put ribbons on it, and that's what stood out. And his customers would like fully love and enjoy this mayo and swear by it. And that he would try to sell in stores, but he didn't really get much success in stores, but he always sold out at his location. And not saying we don't have much success in stores, but I kind of relate to that with the Irie juice. Like we sell so much at Irie Kitchen, it's like unbelievable how much juice we are selling on a week basis. But yeah, so anyway, he opens this deli. He starts selling fucking mayo at this deli. It goes fucking nuts. They build, they're growing. But then Richard's met with some health issues. And so he has his kids and his wife, and he decides to go to fucking Europe to kind of like enjoy, meet some family, see everything, and kind of just like relax. And he sold a portion of his business to one of his friends. So while he was vacationing in Europe, he got a letter that the person he sold the business to died. And so, and this is actually kind of a crazy part in the story, is that he could have, and this goes back to his entrepreneurs. He could have taken the Titanic on the way back to New York, but he decided not to because he wanted to get there earlier. So he took a smaller boat that's also cheaper, which is kind of wild if you think about it. We would probably never have mayo like in stores if he took the Titanic. But whatever. So he gets back in business. He takes over the delis again, and he really starts focusing on, because when he's in Europe, his friend is still doing the package business, is now the president of his family's company. He's crushing it. He's selling Mayo and wooden cardboard boxes. Can you believe that? He is. So he sells the Mayo. He comes back and he starts selling the Mayo. It's like September 1st, which is my birthday, which is nuts when I did this research. September 1st, 1912, he started packaging by 3.5 by 8 ounce screw top wide mouth reusable jars. And he put 3 ribbons on them, but then he changed to 1, and then he sold out of his production the first day in business before he even hit shelves. Later on, he fought for a trademark and he got down to 1 blue ribbon. That's why you see Hellmann's, they got the blue ribbon on theirs, was because that was like his marketing and what made his product different in the markets. So here's what's fucking super crazy. So by 1915, right, he sells the deli, like I said. He built a factory. By that year end, he sold so much Mayo that he had to build a bigger factory. Right. And so I was like, okay, how big is this business? So I focused in and I looked at some fucking numbers. Well, first off, he tried selling some other things other than Mayo, but it just didn't hit the way Mayo did. So he just started focusing back on Mayo again. But by 1927, so from 1915 to 1927, he was selling $15 million a year, $15 million a year, and $1 million in profit. Right. So some of you guys are like, that's not a lot of money. That's only 15 M's. I mean, that is a lot of money, but wow. So I Googled what 15 million was in 1927. Bro, Brody had a $260 million company and he was keeping 17 million profit yearly. Every fucking year. This dude's a fucking baller. Eventually he ended up selling to a company which we call Unilever today. But it was like Good Food before, and there's another thing before that. But yeah, he ended up selling his company, and they start living like a lavish lifestyle, and then he died at 94.